Wonderful, wonderful. Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Dramatically Successful Public Speaking with Ariana Lisa Newcomer. This evening, we are going to have another very action-packed and very insightful session with Ariana and myself and with Carlin Saltman, who we're going to be learning a little bit more about in a moment. Now, first, I'd like to tell you a little bit about Ariana and who's going to be speaking with us tonight and training us about how to use our voices in much more impactful ways, and based on a new modality that she is starting to use called the Sacred Money Archetypes. So let's move right into it. Ariana Lisa Newcomer is a transformational voice coach and developer of the Reclaim Your Authentic Voice program and bodywork for the voice. Ariana teaches conscious entrepreneurs, coaches, and authors to own and voice their value, speak confidently from their authentic selves, and communicate powerfully for dramatically successful public speaking. She is a Harvard graduate, former opera singer, massage therapist, certified provider of the listening program, and voice coach since 1995. A voice injury ended her singing career, but her journey back to a healthy voice, along with her rich performing and therapeutic background, inspired her unique approach to transformational voice coaching. Recently, Ariana has added author to her list of credentials, and she is as being the co-author of the newly released anthology, Bold is Beautiful. Tonight, we're going to be focusing on voicing your value, how your money archetype affects your communication style and your bank account. So with that said, I'd like to welcome Ariana Lisa Newcomer.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm really excited about this because this is going to be so interesting and rich, bringing the sacred money archetypes into this conversation about how we present ourselves vocally and our communication style. So I'm hoping that you all will have a great time, and I have a special offer for you at the end of this session, so stay tuned. And I want to tell you first about my big mission. I am, as Rodney said, a transformational voice coach, but my big mission is to shift the cultural conversation on our planet so that we can have a world that works for everyone. We need to shift from a kind of domination model of society in which power is having power over others and disempowering others underneath us and kind of exploiting the environment, to a partnership model where men and women can be in true partnership with each other, and we can all be in partnership with our planet. We really are at a tipping point, and I need all of your conscious voices to be powerfully raised so that we can create this cultural transformation. And that's what I do in my work, is I teach you to be able to speak powerfully and to be successful in your conscious business that is aligned with this partnership society. So let's jump in, and I'm going to ask Rodney to be my first coachee, and Rodney is going to read us his mission statement. And full disclosure, Rodney is the backbone of my business. He does a lot of things for me, including managing my Google Hangouts, and I just am so grateful to have him. So Rodney, please introduce yourself and then read us your mission statement, and we'll
Wonderful.
get started.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ariana, for the introduction and the acknowledgement. I appreciate that very much.
Mm-hmm.
As I mentioned earlier, my name is Rodney Washington, and I am an entrepreneur mentor. I do work with conscious entrepreneurs like Ariana, helping them to develop the programs, the design, implementation, and systems to grow their business. So I want to read the mission statement that we've created for tonight as the basis of our coaching with myself and with Carlin. So to make it formal, my mission statement reads as this. My name is Rodney Washington, entrepreneur, mentor, and creator of GetPaidForYourCreativity.com and Monetize Your Gifts Masterclass. I'm on a mission to inspire and support passionate, creative entrepreneurs on a mission to change the world by developing programs, products, and services based on their gifts. What I love most about my work is the opportunity to engage and brainstorm with my clients. Our conversations ignite my intuition, creating the perfect opportunity for strategic planning and project development. I'm honored to say that my clients trust me with their ideas and their dreams, and in turn, I help them build a solid foundation to support those dreams in the following three key areas. Number one, skills, talents, and passions assessment. Number two, online marketing systems design and implementation. And number three, strategic planning and program development. My clients report that my warm personality and fatherly-like mentoring inspires and brings a person's inward creativity out.
Great. Good. So Rodney, as you all noticed, has a very warm voice. He has that lovely deep, those lovely deep tones that are so enjoyable to listen to. And his voice is really pretty expressive. And I would like to just ask you, Rodney, to play a little bit with your first statement, I am on a mission. And imagine that you are talking to a room full of squiggly kindergartners.
Okay.
Just that sentence.
Okay. I'm on a mission to inspire and support passionate, creative entrepreneurs on a mission to change the world by developing programs, products, and services based on their gifts.
Great. Now that was, I would say, just kind of one click.
Okay.
Different from the first time that you read it. What was interesting was your pitch lifted just a little bit. Okay. And this is something that we have talked about in the past, that sometimes your pitch can get a little bit too low for your instrument. And I'm talking about your particular larynx, and the size and shape of your vocal folds really determines what is the correct pitch for your voice. And so that little bit of a lift in pitch was actually really appropriate. But now let me demonstrate how I would read this if I were reading to a room full of kindergartners. They're squiggly wiggly, and they want to go out and play, and I have to keep them entertained or they aren't going to sit there. I'm on a mission to inspire and support passionate, creative entrepreneurs on a mission to change the world by developing programs, products, and services based on their gifts. Now that's a little over the top, right?
Right.
But I want you to go for really over the top. Okay? Try.
Okay. All right. Let's go for it. I'm on a mission to inspire and support passionate, creative entrepreneurs that are also on a mission to change the world by developing programs, products, and services based on their gifts.
I love that one. That was perfect. That wasn't in the least over the top. That was perfect. Okay, would you unmute Carlin and let's see if we can get her response to that? What did Carlin think? Carlin is muted at the moment, so we need to unmute.
Sorry about that. I thought I had you unmuted. Oh, 1 second.
This is one of the things about Google Hangouts, everybody, is there are occasionally technical issues, so we just have to roll with it. So I don't know whether Carlin muted herself. Now,
can you try it, Carlin?
There's a little microphone icon if you go to the top of your screen. If it has a line crossed through it, then you are muted. Can you unmute yourself? No?
It should just unmute, and I'm not sure. This is the beauty of Hangouts. Let's see.
Right.
Sorry about that.
So
I just clicked on the microphone.
There you are.
Thank you.
There you are. That's it.
Okay. You're there.
Great. So, Carlin, what did you think of that last time that Rodney did that sentence?
I think she froze.
Nope.
I think she froze.
Yep, now she froze.
Okay, well, she'll unfreeze in a second.
Okay.
She's coming back on for us in a minute. So.
All right. So let's go on, Rodney.
Okay.
So this is one of the things that I find so interesting when I work with clients. I asked you to do really over the top, and what you did was just a really terrific amount of expression, just perfect. So we think that we're using a lot more expression than we really are. And for those of you who are listening, you will find that when you think you're giving a lot of expression to something, most of the time you really aren't, and you can kick it up a notch like Emeril, bam.
Exactly.
And you will become much more engaging, your listeners will be much more interested in what you're saying, and your message will get across much better. So, but Carlin is going to drop off and come back. So yeah. There, she's coming back.
Okay.
Okay, let's go on to your second paragraph. There's back. Carlin. She's back. Great. Good. It's a good thing we warned you that this might happen, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Good. So, what did you think about that last time that Rodney read that sentence? After I asked him to go over the top.
Yeah, I liked it the second time, and it wasn't over the top yet. It was more fun to listen to. It was more engaging, especially if you're asking him to try to take care of a room of 5-year-olds.
Yeah.
Is that how we're supposed to think about our audiences as people who are at that level of attention span?
It's not the level of attention span necessarily. It's the amount of expression that I'm looking for, because when we're reading to children, we generally give ourselves permission to use more expression. So I actually use children's books when I am coaching clients and have them read out of them, because it gives us an opportunity to just play with the voice and voice different characters and get out of our usual rut of our habits of speaking.
Children's books. I love it.
Yes. Good. So, Rodney, let's do your second paragraph. What I love most about my work.
All right. So let's see here. And I do the same over the top, expressive?
Yeah, try going for over the top and see what happens.
Okay. I'm on a mission to inspire and support passionate.
Let's go to the...
I'm sorry. I read
the next one. The next paragraph.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Gotcha. Oh, okay. What I love most about my work is the opportunity to engage and brainstorm with my clients. Our conversations ignite my intuition, creating the perfect opportunity for strategic planning and project development.
Now, I love that. That felt actually more authentically you to me than the first time you read that.
It felt better. This one didn't feel over the top to me, actually.
Yeah, and it wasn't over. So you've actually readjusted how you listen to yourself just in this last few minutes, which is fabulous. And I am going to bring in your archetypes a little bit here.
Okay.
And this is something absolutely wonderful that I am, as you said, adding to my toolbox. It's the Sacred Money Archetypes. And this is something developed by Kendall Summerhawk, and I am becoming a certified Sacred Money Archetypes coach. So these beautiful cards are just a few of the cards of the archetypes. And both Carlin and Rodney did a Sacred Money Archetypes assessment so that we would know which are their top and bottom archetypes. And when we work with Sacred Money Archetypes, there are 8 of them. We usually work with 1, 2, 3, and your last one. But for this purpose today, I'm really just working with the first and the last. So, Rodney, I know that your first is romantic, which is lovely. And so you tend to really want to connect with people. You have this this lovely sense of hedonism in a good way. You like to take care of people, and some of the gifts the romantic has is of feeling that there will always be money, of being generous with others. And some things that can be challenging is possibly buying things just to fill a void, or to actually avoiding things to do with finances. But I happen to know that your number 2 is accumulator, so that probably balances that out for you.
Mm-hmm.
So those are probably not some of your challenges. But I also know that your last archetype is celebrity, and celebrity is the one who just wants to be out there and be in the spotlight and have a great time in life. And our last archetype is one that we can really use bringing into the mix. So it's one that we need some work with. So what I am seeing in your delivery is that the romantic was very much present in your first reading, and that it was very warm and very calm and kind of nurturing, and you even say in your languaging you have a kind of fatherly way, and that's all very romantic. But when you're wanting to really deliver your message, when you're really building your business and you have to be out there really connecting with clients, you need a little bit of that celebrity. So let's think about, as you go on, let's go on with your statement. So I'm honored to say that my clients trust me, which of course is a very romantic attribute. You're very trustworthy. People feel very comfortable with you. It's important to you that people feel comfortable with you. Absolutely. And the celebrity is more, I'm out there. For me, I just love being out there and getting, my face on the newspaper or whatever. So think about those qualities of a celebrity, of someone who values being admired by the world, being valued by the world, and who loves getting out there. And see how that informs this next part that you're going to read.
I have to think of a celebrity that I admire that has a big platform, and the first person that's popping into my head is like Oprah. So I would say her, because she has a great speaking voice, which I love, but she also is not about, I want the attention for the sake of having the attention on me, because it helps to further the mission.
Right, and yet she is this incredibly powerful presence.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that. Okay. I can embrace celebrity better now, because I was like, I don't like that one too much. But okay. So should I read another portion of my statement from that perspective?
Read the next part.
Okay. Let's see. So we channel a little bit. Okay.
So I'm honored to say that my clients trust me.
All right. So I am honored to say that my clients trust me with their ideas and their dreams, and in turn, I help them build a solid foundation to support those dreams in the following 3 key areas. Do I read those 3 key areas?
Okay, here, let's, you want this to really go out there and connect with people.
Okay.
Right. So I am honored to say that my clients trust me with their ideas and dreams. And in turn, I help them build a solid foundation to support those dreams in the following 3 key areas.
Okay.
How did that sound to you?
It sounded better. It sounded a little bit higher energy. I don't know if my energy on the last one was
yeah, now
enough.
That's a good idea. A little higher energy.
Okay.
So like I'm putting it out there.
Okay. So I am honored to say that my clients trust me with their ideas and their dreams, and in turn, I help them build a solid foundation to support those dreams in the following three key areas.
Go on.
Okay. Number one, skills, talents, and passions assessment. Two, online marketing systems design and implementation. And three, strategic planning and program development.
Okay, we got back to the romantic kind of level, let me be easy with this kind of presentation.
Okay.
So, Ed, because celebrity is your last archetype, this is difficult for you. This is a stretch for you.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure that you don't feel too uncomfortable or too confronted anytime. Let me know if it gets to feeling like it's too much ever. Same thing, Carlin, for you when we get to you. But let's see if you can really imagine you are on a big stage and you don't have a microphone.
Okay.
You have to project your voice to the back of the room, a big room filled with people. So you're going to say the following three key areas: skills, talents, and passions assessment. Online marketing systems design and implementation. Really go for it.
Okay. All right. So start with the 3 bullet points.
Yeah.
Okay. Skills, talents, and passions assessment. Online marketing systems and implementation. And finally, strategic planning and program development.
Yes. Now, how did it feel to you to do that?
It felt a little bit like I was, well, it's uncomfortable for me a little bit. I get where it lifted the energy in my voice, and again, I'm sort of getting it from where it's playing in my head, and I'm worried about how it's looking to the audience. So that's kind of the fear that comes up, and maybe that's the part that wants to be, because I'm talking about myself. Like I said to you earlier when we did our session, that I tend to want my clients to be the star, and I'm like the behind the scenes person.
Right.
So it felt like, you know, I'm not sure.
So let's ask Carlin how that landed for her.
I liked it. I liked it very much. I thought it was a nice change. I think you can do it, Rodney. I think you can do it.
Okay. Well, what I love about what you've said with this work is that if that's sort of the blind spot, if you will, or the area that's lowest, that's where I'm holding back in my business. Maybe.
Yes.
And
yes,
I know that even before the archetype, but now I have confirmation of it. So.
And this is what's so wonderful about these archetypes is that it gives you a framework and it gives you these ahas. You can say, oh, because as you were just saying, it's something you kind of knew, but you didn't really know it. Mm-hmm. And now you have this structure to put it in, and you can say, oh, yeah, I need to bring celebrity into my romantic so that I can do the things that I need to do to really build my business.
That frames it nicely for me. Mentally, it frames it really nicely for me. So yeah. I can appreciate that quite a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions, Rodney, about that?
I guess the only one I would have is that in terms of working with this awareness now is, well, what I can say is when opportunities present themselves, I'll know, okay, is that pushing my celebrity button where I might be shying away from things, which I've been known to do. And so having the awareness after having had the session with you now, it's like, okay, that's just my celebrity getting pushed, but that's the barrier I need to go through. Mm-hmm. So if I'm doing my work on my voice skills, and then I know my blind spot is my celebrity, and so I confront that and push through it, you know, in a safe way, that I actually can make the changes in my business that I want. So this is a really great tie-in and revelation for me, and I like that a lot. Yeah.
Wonderful. Great. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go to Carlin. Carlin, would you read your mission statement for us, please?
I'd be glad to. I just want to check out the sound with you. I've unplugged the headset for various technical reasons here. Is it working okay?
Yes, it is. And let's just remind you that your lower third is not up right now, so would you please
Yes.
Introduce yourself and tell people who are watching your website so they can find you.
Yes, and I can open it. It's downloading the app as we speak. Can you hear me? Well, my website is videomirrorfeedback.com. I'm Carlin Saltman, and I'm a communication and relationship coach. That means the video mirror feedback piece is a method that I developed out of my documentary training and career that allows me to use video to help people who want communication and relationship coaching. It allows me to show them themselves in a way that they haven't seen themselves before. It helps them get to know themselves and learn to make different communication and relationship choices very quickly.
Right. So we are kind of aligned in some of the work that we do because we're both working with communication skills. So it's a really nice connection to have. So read us your mission statement.
And my website, just because I haven't had time to type it, is videomirrorfeedback.com.
Yes, thank you.
And I will read. My personal purpose is to express myself clearly and with empathy toward myself and others, even when it's difficult. I'm doing this by learning heart-conscious communication and practicing it regularly with my partner so that I stay connected to my heart and am more able to welcome the whole person in every interaction. My professional mission is to step into my calling as a communication and relationship coach. Do you want me to keep reading?
Yep.
My professional mission is to step into my calling as a communication and relationship coach by helping cultural creatives and business leaders express themselves with greater clarity, presence, and caring with the accelerated method I created called Video Mirror Feedback. My mastermind communities create virtual space where my clients connect with their hearts, focus their minds, and reach for the stars.
Great. So Carlin has a very expressive voice already, and of course we would expect that given the work that you do. So I don't need to ask you to imagine that you're speaking to a room full of kindergartners because your expression is very engaging. Wouldn't you agree, Rodney?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we're going to look at a different direction for just playing for a few minutes and just to see what happens. Let's read the beginning of your personal purpose as if it's extremely funny.
That makes me laugh just thinking about it. And are we going to get to figuring out how my sacred money
yes, we are. Absolutely.
I'm just very curious about that.
Yes.
I will gladly try to read this as if it's funny.
Okay.
Yikes. My personal purpose is to express myself clearly and with empathy toward myself and others, even when it's difficult. Is that what you mean?
Okay.
Is that what you had in mind?
So,
I love it.
let me demonstrate.
Ronnie's laughing.
I know. This is a possibility. Okay. My personal purpose is to express myself clearly and with empathy toward myself and others, even when it's difficult.
Nice. Nice. And when would I use that? Or are you just trying to get me to stretch in a direction that I
Yes.
could? being a little more lighthearted?
Well, let's try it, and then I'll talk about why.
Okay.
Okay, try it again. So it's really funny.
My personal purpose is to express myself clearly and with empathy toward myself and others, even when it's difficult.
Okay, now this is a little tricky because, of course, it isn't funny. This is something that's really important to you, right? This hits at the core of who you are. So playing with this might feel confronting or inauthentic, perhaps. Is that coming up for you at all?
A little inauthentic, but I'm willing to go with it. But yes,
Okay.
yes, it does. It feels like a contradiction,
Mm-hmm.
like cognitive
Exactly.
dissonance. Like,
Yes. Well, there are things that, one of the things that's really important in communication, and I'm sure you work with this, Carlin, as well, is having the voice match the message. And this is
yes,
what we're bumping into here. So if I say, I'm so excited about going on that trip tomorrow, I can't wait.
That's really incongruent.
Right, the voice, my tone of voice doesn't match my message.
Mm-hmm.
I love you. I love you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it is interesting to pull ourselves into using a different style of voice and different style of communication, even with something that's very heartfelt to us, because I've had clients say this to me in the past. Well, if I use that other voice, it feels like it's inauthentic. But think of all of the aspects of ourselves. We have the little inner child. We have the very serious person. We have somewhere there's the class clown. We have all of these interior parts. And part of being a whole person is being able to truly express all that we are. And when we limit our voice usage to just a certain range, we're limiting ourselves. So that's why I'm just asking you. I know it's incongruous. It's an incongruity. So if you can just shift your brain and just think of it as just words, and I'm just going to play with my voice for a minute. See if that makes a difference for you. Try reading that first sentence again.
Can you give me some coaching on how to play with my voice? What I'm basically doing is smiling a lot and
Okay.
trying to vary the cadence, and I'm not sure
Right.
what else I should do. To make it sound funny and exercise that part of myself.
Okay, let's use the kindergartners again.
Okay.
Let's imagine that you are actually reading a funny children's book, and they are falling over laughing because it's a really silly story.
Huh. They're falling over laughing while I'm talking.
Yes.
Okay. My personal purpose is to express myself clearly and with empathy toward myself and others, even when it's difficult. I don't feel like I'm doing anything. I don't feel like I'm doing anything different than I did before.
Okay, Rodney, what's your feedback on that? Was that different?
It was. Well, the thing of it is that I think I can feel that it's a little uncomfortable for you, which is when you know that you're really pushing through. Because I think unless you're really reading to a group of 5-year-olds, you really wouldn't quite be doing it that way. But it's also, I think in terms of public speaking, you really want to keep your audience engaged and just listening to you. And if it's all kind of monotone, which we never want to be, then people just kind of tune you out and they're not getting the message. So
right, and that's not really an issue for Carlin. So she has great expression. She expresses herself really well. So I'm looking for a place where I can help you create something a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm going for this. That's a little bit uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
let's talk archetypes for a second. Now, your top archetype is alchemist, which is also my number one.
Mm-hmm.
And so we love creating ideas. We are just really passionate about coming up with ideas, and we love playing, and the idea of just sort of magically creating something new is really delightful for us. And yet we can sometimes have trouble following through with those ideas so they actually make money. So we could get into having too many ideas happening all at once. And we can also have a real love-hate relationship with money. That we know that money can do good in the world, but on the other hand, we don't like that it has to be involved.
Mm.
Does that land for you?
It totally resonates with me.
Okay.
Say no more.
Good. Yeah.
But do if you'd like to.
Right. So, so it's interesting because we can. What I'm hearing in the midst of your very good delivery, your extremely good expression, is this, and even in this mission statement that you wrote, there are so many things going on in it. There's a whole bunch of different ideas in each of these two, your personal and your business mission. And our alchemist just loves, I've got to have all that stuff in there.
Mm.
But the clarity of it and that sort of directness that is really useful in business isn't quite there. So,
well, may I say something?
Yeah.
I was toying with a lot of different things online that help you write a mission statement because I needed some inspiration since my last one fell kind of flat for me. And so I found something online that actually helps you plug in things and creates like a formula, and then it puts it back out to you. And I just thought I would try it. You know, I guess that's the alchemist in me, is I like to try things like that.
Yeah.
And so that's one reason it has so many things, because it said to name 5 things you like about yourself, and 5 goals, and 5 of this, and 5 of that. And then it made you get rid of 2 of each. So you had to pick the top 3 of all those 5s. So you're seeing the sum total of that, and then I made it more complicated by choosing to have my personal purpose and my professional mission in one. But
It's perfectly fine, because I love hearing the personal missions too. I have that big mission myself, and so I think it's really valuable because it makes us more real. It makes us able to connect a little more with people who would be our ideal clients.
But you're saying even so, it's too much of a good thing? But I've got
I've got this, and I've got this, and I've got this, and I've got to put this in, and I've got to put that in.
Yeah, that was the formula. Yeah, I can scale it back.
Yeah, yeah. And now, you have, as I've discovered, romantic as your last archetype. So that's the one that resonates the least for you. And so romantic is something that we want to bring in for you. And romantics are about really connecting and warm fuzzies and enjoying life and having some indulgences and indulging in taking care of other people and perhaps not so much taking care of themselves. Life is to be enjoyed. And so is it possible that for you those things are difficult You don't tend to indulge, or?
I'm laughing. I'm a big saver. I get a lot out of saving money. I'm talking about money now because I think these are money archetypes, right?
Yes.
So
yeah.
I think that modulates my romantic warm and fuzzies because I'm a warm and fuzzy person.
Uh-huh.
But when it comes to money, I'm not running around with $50 bills handing them out at Christmas.
Is accumulator in your top 3?
Oh, let me see. No, actually, the other 2 tied. Number 2 and 3 tied. Nurturer and Maverick tied for second place.
Okay.
And accumulator was the 4th one. 4th place after the 2
okay.
tied.
So you actually have accumulator in your top 3 because between Nurturer and Maverick, you would choose one, and that's another issue that we would do if I were working with you. I would ask you some questions to help you determine which of those would be your actual number 2, and then the other one just goes into the we don't focus on it pile. So accumulator would be your number 3.
Gotcha.
So accumulators, you could tell by the name, accumulators like to accumulate money. So that's an important archetype for you. So let's just think about bringing in some of the aspects of romantic into let's do your personal purpose again. And let's think about that living life to the fullest. I'm looking down at my cards here. Well, that's why I'm dipping over. Giving yourself, being really generous, believing there will always be more, feeling special and loved. And as you think about those things, now tell us your personal purpose.
My personal purpose is to express myself clearly and with empathy toward myself and others, even when it's difficult. I'm doing this by learning heart-conscious communication and practicing it regularly with my partner so that I stay connected to my heart and am more able to welcome the whole person in every interaction.
Okay, good. I'm going to model back for you the way that you read your second sentence. I'm doing this by learning heart-conscious communication and practicing it regularly with my partner so that I stay connected to my heart and am able to welcome the whole person in every interaction.
Sounds kind of dull.
Did you hear my heart in that?
Not as much as I thought I would.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So this is a place where the romantic can assist you, because when we're wanting to really connect with our potential clients, this is something that I talk with all my clients about. Our ideal clients are not looking for someone like us, they're looking for us. And if we aren't really revealing who we are through our voice, they can't connect with us completely, and they don't know if we're the right person to work with them. So sometimes we have a professional voice that we use, and you work in a lot of business settings, and so you may have developed this professional voice in order to come across as a professional that the business would like to hire. But the work that you're doing is actually fairly intimate work. When we're working with voice and communication style, it's us. We're working with us at this very profound level. So you may have a habit of not... let me just ask you this. Do you have a habit of trying not to reveal too much about yourself?
I'm not conscious of that, but it's possible that I'm doing that. Especially in business settings, it's conscious that I'm trying not to appear overly vulnerable because, in fact, personally, I tend to default towards being vulnerable. So I probably am trying to hide not a lot about myself, but I'm probably trying to hide my vulnerability because I don't think that's appropriate in business settings. But of course, it is appropriate when I'm working with anyone. Once we're in the work.
Right, and then of course there are levels and levels. Right, we can reveal a certain amount of vulnerability in being human, our humanness, without creating an opening for someone to criticize or be disrespectful or put us down for it.
Mm-hmm.
So being vulnerable doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to collapse if somebody has a criticism.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to dissolve into tears if the situation becomes difficult or fraught.
Okay.
But we can be vulnerable in this context of being ourselves, because you are a person with a huge heart. The work when Carlin was doing documentaries, she was filming documentaries in Africa. She did this incredible work, and someone who does that kind of work has to have an enormous heart in order to do it. It's very difficult. So we know you have a huge heart. So
I would love to practice that.
Yeah.
I really know that it's not that easy for me to show my heart-centered qualities through my speaking.
Okay. So if you're willing, and if this feels like it's too much, just say so, and we won't go there. But if you're willing to try reading that personal purpose again from your heart, I would love it.
Oh, gosh. I have to admit I'm not sure what to do differently, but I will try.
Okay, well, let's take a moment. Just close your eyes for a second. Just take a deep breath. And let yourself feel your body. Feel your body in the chair. Feel your feet on the floor. Feel your hands on your desk or your thighs. Feel your breath moving in and out of your body. Feel if there's tightness in your shoulders. Shrug your shoulders a little bit. And connect with that heart space. Connect with Carlin as the heart space. And when you feel connected with that, go ahead and open your eyes. And read your personal purpose again. Stay in that space. Don't let yourself go back way up into the head. Stay in the heart space.
My personal purpose is to express myself clearly and with empathy toward myself and others, even when it's difficult. I'm doing this by learning heart-conscious communication and practicing it regularly with my partner so that I can stay connected to my heart and am more able to welcome the whole person in every interaction.
That landed in my heart.
It did?
Yeah. Rodney, how did that feel to you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It felt literally different. Like I felt the shift coming through the screen. It was really very powerful. Yeah. Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to seeing the recording because I'd like to see it, obviously.
Now, one thing that was interesting vocally that you did was your pitch dropped lower. And that could have been just that physical sensation of dropping your energy into your heart space and getting it out of your head. So one thing to be aware of is that if we drop our pitch too low and we speak from there for too long a time, that can wear out the voice. And that's an issue that some of my women clients have who are in the corporate world or in the business world, especially if they're small women. they have developed this low voice in order to compete with the guys, in order to sound more authoritative. And their voice wears out by the end of the day. So that's something to be aware of just technically, that you want to make sure that your voice is going to last for you throughout the whole day, or if you're leading a 3-day event. Like I went to an event in San Diego last October, and the woman had a 3-day event. She had 250 people in the room and 250 people on live stream, and she lost her voice at the end of the first day.
Wow.
So fortunately, she had someone with her who knew what to do, and so she was able to recover and go on for the next 2 days. But that's that kind of inappropriate use of your instrument. So one of the things that I do when I work with clients is make sure that they understand how to use their own instrument to the greatest effect without damaging it. Good.
That
Okay,
makes sense.
so Carlin, do you have any questions from our session? And first I want to say thank you so much for being willing to go to that place. I know it was uncomfortable, but it was beautiful. It was just beautiful. I loved it.
I'm so thankful that you showed me I can do that. And maybe I can do it even more and better when I practice it some more. I mean, if we could do that in those quick moments, that gives me hope, because that's one of the things I've wanted to do most, is find a way to communicate more from my heart. And you're telling me I'm able to. And you showed me a little bit about how.
Yes. And if we were working together, that would be something that we would practice over time. And one of the things that I want to emphasize about changing the way that we speak is that your voice is produced using muscles and resonance and breath. And we have habits of speech. And when we're developing new habits, we're retraining our muscles to work differently. So it's important to know, to be aware that when you're trying something new with your voice might get tired, but it should not hurt. And you want to practice in small increments at a time, 10 minutes or so at a time, and give your muscles a chance to strengthen. If your voice starts to hurt, you need to stop, call me, or call a voice therapist, because you're doing something wrong.
It should never hurt.
Should never hurt.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Really appreciate this opportunity.
Good. So this was so much fun to bring the archetypes in. Even though they're called the sacred money archetypes, they have so much relevance to this issue of communication. And just when I asked each of you to bring in some of the elements of that last archetype, which is the one that's least resonant with you, then it really helped to shift things for both of you. So I'm really excited now to be doing work with these sacred money archetypes. And my special offer for those of you watching, listening today, or if you're watching the replay, is a Sacred Money Archetypes reading, an hour-long session with me where we will find out your archetypes, talk about how they affect your relationship with money and your ability to be successful with money, but also your communication skills and your style of communication. And that is $197 value, and for those of you watching, I have a special offer of $147 for this session. And I believe, Rodney, there's a button on the web page where you're watching, and people can click on that and buy that session. I would love to work with you and explore how these archetypes can really help you take off in the way that you've been watching it happen for Rodney and Carlin today. So once you purchase the session, you'll get an email with a link to my online calendar so that you can schedule it. So make sure you put your email in when you buy the session, and I'm looking forward to working with all of you. And those sessions can be online, on the phone, or in person. So you don't have to live near me in Central California in order to do a session.
Good thing. Because we're in the frozen north here of Massachusetts.
Yes, right. Yep. So, Rodney, were there any comments on the page or any questions that came in?
I didn't see any, but let me just double check here. And I did want to bring up, because you are offering this very gracious, I think it's a gift actually. The sessions, they're going to run about an hour, correct?
Yes.
About an hour. And I think you're offering that until that $50 off of the session, the Sacred Money Archetype session until Thursday, correct?
Today is
Wednesday,
till Friday.
Friday.
Till Friday, yeah.
Friday.
Through Friday, yes.
So yes.
So people who watch the replay have an opportunity to jump in on that offer too.
And is the replay available on this same page within moments of ending?
Yes, it is available. Yes, it is available on the page where you receive the confirmation for joining us on the Hangout tonight. You should be on the Reclaim website where the video replay will be there, and all the information on how to register for, sign up for a reading with Ariana. All of that is there. The button is there and everything.
Right.
So it should all be ready to go. So I didn't see anything in the chat, but let me just look in one other area and make sure that I'm not missing anything. No, I don't.
Okay.
One last area, just to make sure on Facebook.
Good.
I know a lot of people are watching us on Facebook too.
Right. So I did forget to say that people could put comments in on the Facebook event page, and you would be able to see them. We have to remember to put that in at the beginning next time.
Okay, so we do have one comment on Facebook that they're trying to book their session now with you. And so again, what I will say, if you're watching us live, is all you need to do is to visit the webpage, as I mentioned, where you received in the confirmation link, and there is a button there that allows you to just add the session to your shopping cart. But I do have your name and information here, Lexa, so I will make sure that you have all the information that you need to reserve your session. So wonderful. We have some people ready to sign up to work with you.
Good. Great.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think we're complete, and I just want to thank both of you so much for playing with me today. You both went to places that were a little bit uncomfortable, and your willingness to play meant a great deal to me. I really appreciate it, and I think it would be very helpful to other people to be able to see what you two were able to do and create the similar kinds of shifts for themselves, and especially if you come and have a Sacred Money Archetypes reading with me. Great. So Rodney, why don't you take us out?
All right, wonderful. So again, thank you everyone for joining us this evening for this month's Dramatically Successful Public Speaking session with Ariana Lisa Newcomer. I want to thank also Carlin for joining us this evening as well, and as Ariana mentioned, playing with us. I firmly believe in what Ariana's work is and what she's doing, and honestly, I would say that I've been curious about this kind of work with the archetype session work for quite some time, so to physically see it and actually having done a session with her, and as you saw tonight, how not so much the one that's my number one, but my blind spot area, which is my celebrity, is the one that I really need to pull in a little bit more and use it to transform my voice, my life, and my business. So I want to thank Ariana so much for this work, and I know she's going to help a lot of people. As Ariana mentioned a moment ago, is that the sessions will be available to book at the rate of $147 until Friday, and the link is available there on the webpage just to add to cart, and you're ready to go. And Ariana will get back with you to schedule everything and get you all on the calendar. So,
wonderful.
So with that said, I want to thank you all again for coming and joining us for another monthly session. We'll be back again next month and every month with a new Google Hangout, and you'll be receiving information about that shortly, so stay tuned to your inbox. And with that said, I wish you all love and blessings so much. This is Rodney Washington, Entrepreneur Mentor, Ariana Lisa Newcomer, and Carlin Saltman. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful, wonderful, blessed evening. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. It was great.